Hey besties, welcome back to the channel. Today we're bringing back an oldie but a goodie, TBR Tackle. Fuck, that's not even the name of the series. TBR Tackle is Riley's. We're doing TBR Takeover, and today we have a very special guest, Jan Agaton. If you are not aware of her channel, you are sleeping on her. Jan is the queen of reading a million bajillion books every single month, also the queen of spooky things. When you finish this video, you need to go check out her channel. I mean, you can go check it out now if you want, but please come back. She has a series called Do Your Worst, where booktubers essentially give her a list of all the books they've rated like 1 or 2 stars, and then she picks from that list to see if she can find something that she's gonna like. So I gave her a master list of like every book that I've never liked in my life, and I think she appreciated that. I actually don't even remember what books she chose off of it. We actually already hopped on a call for her to tell me what she wanted me to read, so roll that tape.
I was looking through your Goodreads and like our similarities and stuff, and I was like, okay, so good ones would be romance, vampires, and something with an unhinged woman. Romance was my #1 of 2024. So this is about this woman who was in a car accident with her husband. Husband died. She wakes up from her coma or whatever, and she doesn't remember anything. She thinks she's 16, but she's actually 29. Like, she's like, what's Uber? Like, she has no idea that all these years have gone by. And then slowly people like start piecing things together for her. And then she runs into this guy at her husband's funeral who like knew both of them. And he like gently, you know, eases her in. And there's like a mystery aspect. All right. And then for our vampire book.
Oh my god, I've always wanted to read this. I've never read it.
Yeah, I've tried to be nice to you too and get you some shorty patorties, you know? It's sapphic vampire based on Elizabeth Bathory, I think is the serial killer's name. And then the third one, I can't remember if this was on your Goodreads or not, but it was also in my top 10 of last year. You have to get to the epilogue. Like, please do not DNF.
I do think Riley may have spoiled it for me, but I don't mind going on the journey.
Oh no. Okay, well, if you change your mind, I have a 4th option.
Okay, what's the 4th option?
The Night Guest. The little pink.
Oh, with the pink cover?
So,
maybe I'll see what I'm more in the mood for, because I have been wanting to read The Night Guest.
and that one's super fast too. There are like 1-sentence chapters. So
yeah, that's cool. Okay, besties, before we even get into the reading, I'm very excited because I just got something very special in the mail. Raycon is actually sponsoring today's video, and they sent me their everyday earbuds. I got them in the blush violet color, and they are so cute. I'm very obsessed with them. And I got the purple cloud case because it perfectly matches this set. I want to give these to Aaron as a gift because his birthday is coming up in a few weeks, and he recently lost his earbuds. And so when Raycon reached out and they were like, let's work together, I was like, that was perfect, because I was looking at actually getting him a pair, so it's like perfect timing. Hey Aaron, you should come here.
We're doing it on video.
Yeah, we're doing it on video.
Okay.
Okay, I got you something for your birthday. It's an early gift.
Are these the Raycon everyday earbuds?
Yes.
With the 32-hour battery life?
Yes. They also have active noise canceling.
Ooh, active noise cancel. That's great. They must take forever to charge up.
If you charge them for just 10 minutes, you actually get an hour and a half of battery.
An hour and a half of battery?
Yes.
That's amazing, because that's about how long I spend at the gym, but I always forget to charge my earbuds. Wow.
Okay, not only are these really good for using at the gym, I tested them out and they're really great for using for audiobooks. And you know, you've recently been getting into audiobooks.
I can listen to my Warhammer books on these too?
You can.
Wow.
You can learn about that horsehair thing that you were telling me about.
Horus Heresy.
Who's he? Okay, and then on top of all that, they are dustproof and water resistant.
Wow, that's premium quality. These must be expensive.
Actually, they're not. They're very affordable. So, if you're interested in high quality sound and comfort, you can get your own pair of everyday earbuds if you go to buyraycon.com/Sarah without an H, and you can get 20% off.
20%?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a deal.
That is a deal. They also have a 30-day happiness guarantee, and they have free returns. So if you need to return them for any reason, it's easy breezy, but I don't think you will want to return them because they're
Why
great.
would you? It's gym time.
Alright besties, I have started Pictures of You. Did not know that this book was Australian. That has been a struggle with the audiobook. I am so sorry to my Australian subscribers. I don't mean this rudely, but there's something about listening to an audiobook with an Australian accent that just does not do it for me. British accent, yes, give it to me all day. Australian, like, why are we putting shrimps on the Barbie? And it's not even something that I experience in other forms of media. Like in a movie or a booktuber, like I love Lily C. Reeds. If you're a fan of her, she's Australian. I can just hear all the Australians unsubscribing right now. I'm sorry, please don't boo me. If it makes you feel any better, I actually actually love Australia. I lived there for a year when I was in college. I took a gap year. So I'm sorry that I'm insulting your accent, because when I was in person, I actually liked the accent. There's just something about an audiobook. I don't know. And this book is quite melodramatic and very serious. So there's something about the Australian accents. It's just not doing it for me. I'm sorry. I know that Jan in the call that we had literally said that this was a romance, but for some reason I went into this book thinking it was a thriller. And as I've been reading, I've been like, what part of this is supposed to be a thriller? Because this doesn't feel like a thriller. This feels like a romance. And she did actually say this is a romance. So I'm sorry, Jen. I don't know why I confused the genres, but I think that I need to like temper my expectations based on me getting the entire genre wrong. Anyway, let's look past the accents and just talk about what this is about. We are following a main character named Evie, who was recently in a car accident. And when she wakes up, she actually has no memories from, I think it's like the last like 12 years of her life. So in her mind, she's a 16-year-old girl when really she's in her late 20s. And she finds out that her husband actually died, but she doesn't remember him. Like everyone's like, aren't you so sad that Oliver died? And she's like, I don't know who the fuck Oliver is. And then she goes to his funeral and she feels really overwhelmed, and she runs out of the building and she runs into this guy whom I cannot remember his name. Oh my god, he's a really important character. I can't remember his name. Besties, I have literally been sitting here for like 4 minutes. I actually can't remember the other character's name. That's crazy because he's the other main character. But anyway, she leaves the funeral and she runs into this guy who she has known also since she was a teenager. So she knew him and Oliver, but her memories kind of stopped right before she met them, and they set off kind of on a journey to like get her memories back. You kind of are jumping between the current timeline when Evie doesn't have her memories, and then the past timeline, like learning about these two characters. It is dual POV, so we keep going between the characters. Am I loving this book? I can't say that I am. I think if I were to rate it, it would be somewhere between 2.5 and 3 stars. Like a 2.5 feels mean. 3 stars feels accurate. It's like a low 3 star. Like if you could take a solid 3 star, but on the low side of a 3 star, that's how I'm feeling about it. I think 2.5 is too dramatic, and I do hate to have this be the first reading update I give and to say that, because I know that Jan literally said this was her favorite book that she read last year. So I'm already offending you, Jan. I've offended the Australians. I've offended Jan. I'm gonna have no friends by the end of this. Because a lot of the book takes place when Evie is 16, it's kind of giving YA. It's very like teenage minded, and Evie literally thinks she's 16, so she is thinking like a young teenager. And so I don't really like that aspect, like the childishness of it. I understand that she had a traumatic brain injury and that's why she's doing that, and she's got something emotional going on of why she like lost all of her memories, and we're trying to solve that. There is a little bit of a mystery, so it's not a thriller, but there is a bit of mystery going on. Like we're like, why did she lose her memories? I will say the romance is fairly cute. Like the romance between her and the guy is kind of cute, and it's a romance, so it's supposed to be cute. Sometimes when I do TBR takeover, I curse myself for being really honest, because I am the type of person that will never lie about whether or not I like a book. And it is so unfortunate with TBR takeover, because this whole video is dedicated to Jan picking things for me, and you never know what's gonna happen. I've had TBR takeovers where I didn't like a single book, so I'm hoping I like one of the other ones that I read. I'm coming to you by the light of the computer because it's very late at night right now. I've been editing YouTube videos and it's past 3 AM right now. Anyway, I finished Pictures of You, and I think I'm gonna stick with a 3-star rating. It was fine. I feel like capital F fine. I am very happy for Jan and everyone who has loved this book. Like I think it's really amazing that this was Jan's like absolute favorite book that she read last year. I do wish I hadn't read it first, so that this wouldn't be the first impression leading into the video, but it wasn't the worst book I've ever read. I did like the romance between Evie and the guy whom I still can't remember his name, even though I literally just finished the book like 15 minutes ago. There's something about his name, it's just not sticking in my head. I might have liked this more if it actually was a thriller, but at the end of the day, I'm actually not much of an amnesia girl. I don't really like that as a trope. I know Jan wouldn't have known that about me, but like a lot of books that I've read that employ amnesia as like a plot device, I just haven't really enjoyed that. And I think what kind of took away from the tension for me is the fact that we're bouncing between timelines. So it's like not really a mystery because it's being hand fed to us. And I kind of was hoping there would be like more of an adventure with her and the guy to kind of reclaim her memories. And so I don't know, I think I just had different expectations for this book. And obviously I've already complained about the Australian accents. I would have physically read it to avoid the accents, but I am on a deadline with time because I've got surgery and different things coming up. So please accept that I had to do the audiobook. I just did based on my life right now. But again, I don't think the audiobook is what made me not love this book. Again, it was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. It just didn't like excite me. And unfortunately, I am in my nothing excites me era. I would be willing to read another book by this author. I think that if maybe a different premise would speak to me a bit more, because I didn't think her writing was like particularly bad. It was more so just the story itself. And I think that Evie read kind of young, obviously because she thinks she's 16, like with her memories. And I don't really want to read about 16-year-olds. It's just not really what I'm looking for in a book. But the immense guilt that I feel when I do TBR takeover and I don't like the books it's too great. It's too great. I'm also somebody that can't lie about what I think about books. You know, I think Jan's also a very honest person, so I think she will get it and she'll understand. She'll lock in, she'll get it. Also, I don't know if you've noticed, I can't stop saying lock in. Maybe I haven't said it that much in this video. I feel like I have, but I keep feeling like I'm saying lock in, lock in, lock in. I don't know where I got that because I'm not even on TikTok, but I just keep saying it. Welcome to my new canopy bed. I actually got this recently and it makes me feel like a pretty little princess. And I also did something very ingenious. I put a curtain back here to be a screen for my projector because I'm about to get some pretty serious surgery and I'm gonna have a long recovery and I'm gonna be in bed a lot for at least a full week. And so I was like, what if I had a projector in my bed? That would be iconic. So I went ahead and got that. And you know what it's also been really good for? When you are reading a vampire book, you can put vampire ambiance on and lock the fuck in. I think I just searched for like gothic vampire ambiance and the one that I found was like a fatal dinner with a vampire. And I was like, that sounds like it would definitely match up with House of Hunger, which I have been reading. I don't know how to feel about House of Hunger yet, but I am intrigued by the premise so far. So we're following this girl, Marion, and she is very poor. She lives in the slums and things are not going very well. Her brother is a drug addict and he's taking all her money. So she sees an ad in the paper that is requesting people to go north to be blood mates, which basically means that you would give your blood to someone really wealthy and drain yourself. And so she heads off to do that. And then the woman that needs the blood is an interesting character. I can't remember the name of the serial killer she's based on, but I know that Jan said it in her intro, like when she was talking about it on our call. There are parts of it that feel a little young adult. There's something about this author specifically. I tried to read The Year of the Witching and I felt the same way. Like her characters just read really young to me. And unfortunately, I'm kind of out of my YA era. Not to say there's anything wrong with liking YA, I just personally don't really enjoy it. And so there's just sometimes there'll be writing where I'm just like, this feels YA to me and I don't know how to explain it. And I'm not even trying to be elitist or anything. It's just like a vibe that I get and it's just not for me. But I will say that Marion, like getting to the manor and, you know, with my little ambiance on, I feel like it just really added a lot. And I was just like, yes, yes, give me the gothic vampire energy. We'd love to see it. And I am in desperate need of more vampire books that I love because I feel like one of the only ones that I love is A Dower with Blood. And I want a book that would make me feel like that because that book is perfection. It's so good. It just explores toxic relationships so well. So I'm curious to see how this book does it because I do sense a toxic relationship coming on. I think we're in the midst of that happening. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it shapes up. But I'm going to keep my hopes here because so far this vlog has not been going perfectly. But that's okay. It's okay. And Jan, if you're watching, I'm sorry. All right. I have finished House of Hunger and I wanted to feel a little vampiric, so I put my hair up and I put this dress on. Also, my hair's a little dirty, so I thought, why not try to do this, try to distract. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I think it's a 3-star. I've realized something about myself recently, and that's when I asked people to recommend me books. I actually should be a little bit more prescriptive because I actually did a TBR takeover with my patrons as well. The same thing happened where I was like DNFing things, I didn't like things, and I'm just a picky bitch. So I think I need to be better about actually giving people parameters of like what I like and what I don't like. So I think I might make a one-sheeter of every trope I like, books that I love, books that I don't love, like just kind of give people more information to go off of. I've also been thinking about making TBR takeover have like a spin-off series where it's kind of like Battle of the Booktubers, where multiple booktubers recommend me books and then we see like who gets the best rating. So I think I might also do something along those lines. So Billy, do you mind not shaking around with your collar like that when I'm filming? Oh, look at her. She got her teethies clean today, so she's a little woozy. She's a little sleepy. You kind of smell like outside. You know when your dog smells like outside? I hate that. I hate that. Okay, goodbye. I insulted her. It felt like it was building up. It was building up like a roller coaster. You know, like when you're on the roller coaster and like up, 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 up. You're like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. And then what happened was instead of it going and like, you know, going on the actual roller coaster and having it being a wild ride, imagine if you began the roller coaster and then you just ended, you know, when like you're coming off a roller coaster and then like it like speeds and you go like that in your seat and then you just kind of like go back to the attendants. That's what it felt like. It felt like I went up and then I went and I was like, oh, okay. Because the ending had a lot of action, but like the build up for me was, I don't know, I would say the first few chapters, like when she first gets to the manor, were definitely the parts that I liked the best. But then when she actually gets into the romance with Lisbeth, was that her name? Lisbeth? I feel like that was her name. When she gets into the romance with her and stuff, I don't know, I just kind of lost interest. It kind of felt like if you were to water down A Dowry of Blood significantly and make it feel like YA. That's kind of the vibe that I got from it. And I really hope this isn't one of Jan's favorites books because she's going to literally block me on every social media after she sees this video. I'm sorry. I feel like I haven't had a fail video this bad since I did a TBR takeover with Jordan. So I really need to do an episode where I let people redeem themselves. I will say, if I was in charge of recommending her things, I don't even know if that she would love anything that I recommend. I feel like we either have like the same taste or like opposite. So it's a little difficult, But anyway, moral of the story is that I am giving this book 3 stars and I wish that I liked it more than I do, but unfortunately I do not. All right, besties, I thought long and hard on if I wanted to read My Husband or The Night Guest because Jan did give me an option. And unfortunately, Riley really did spoil the ending of My Husband. Like, I know what happens in the epilogue. So I don't know, maybe I'll revisit that book later down the line because I do really love an unhinged woman book. So I've decided to go with The Night Guest. And I have already finished. Our main character is really tired all the time. She's not feeling well. She's not getting good sleep. And she feels like she's going crazy. She keeps going to doctors. No one knows what's going on. And through a series of events, she starts to uncover what's happening to her at night. And it's a little interesting. I don't really want to say much more because it is a novella. It's so short. And I don't want to spoil anything. It was a little bit staccato, like there was a lot of like short lines and things. I think Jan might have mentioned this. There was like very short chapters, and so that didn't super work for me. I don't know. There's something about it that wasn't really vibing, but I did like a lot of the concepts. It reminded me a lot of Come Closer by Sarah Gran. If you've ever read that before, I feel like if you know what happens in that book, you might kind of see the direction where this is going. It is different, but it has a similar vibe. I think if you like a more straightforward story, I would definitely recommend going with Come Closer over this one. I think Come Closer to me is a better horror book in comparison. I think I gave that one like 4.5 stars. So Jan, if you haven't read Come Closer, I highly recommend you do because I really enjoyed that one. So I kept seeing a lot of similarities between them, but this one was a little bit more weird and the ending was way more open-ended. I actually went on Reddit after I finished it because I was like, I need to know what happened. Like, am I just stupid? Like, I literally finished and I was like, perhaps I just am dumb. And so maybe there's an obvious explanation here for the girlies to explain to me. Because, you know, I'm not really like a weird book girl. So I was like, maybe let me go find out what everyone's saying. I think what disappointed me the most is that there were a lot of hints at what was going on. Like, it felt like I was about to get a pretty straightforward explanation and I thought I knew what was going on. And there was a lot of like, ooh, this thing happened or blah, blah, blah. And like, they didn't really like go super into depth by the end of it. And then it ends in this very like, I don't know, it's like a very dreamy, dreamlike kind of ending. And so I was just left kind of being like, what just happened? But I don't know. I feel like I'm sounding negative because I did actually enjoy this. Like, I think I would be willing to read more from this author, even though I didn't like love the translation, but that could just be the translator. I don't know. It wasn't bad writing by any means. And it was very readable, very easy, very breezy, readable, that whole thing. So I think I'm going to give this like 3.5 stars. I think that's like a fair rating for it, where there was something missing for me. And maybe if I had never read Come Closer by Sarah Grant, I wouldn't have compared them and that wouldn't have affected my reading of this. But I think that because I loved Come Closer so much and I liked how Come Closer, you know, they really tied up with a bow on that one. Like, you know exactly what's happening and what's going on, versus this one, again, it was just the very open-ended, which I know is a very common thing in horror. I know. And perhaps I'm just too literal. I'm just a literal girly. To be honest, that kind of brings me to the end of this video. I do apologize to Jan for not giving any of these books higher than 3 stars. Well, I guess the last one was 3.5 stars, but I didn't really give them the best ratings. But Jan, you know what? We will do another collab in the future. We will. I have more iterations of TBR Takeover coming in the future, and Jan can definitely make a comeback, and I can also repent from being a picky bitch. We can all work together. If you've made it to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, please use a bat emoji in your comments down below because Jan is our beautiful goth goddess booktuber. I thank you all so much for watching. You're all beautiful. Have a nice day.